I think that everyone wants to believe that there is some ability that people with autism and ADHD have that no one else has. There's this fantasy that there's a superpower that people with autism and ADHD possess, and I think this is actually very harmful. And I know I haven't been posting in a while. I've just been having really high levels of anxiety recently, and I've been really kind of thinking about just my station in society and just kind of taking a break, I guess. But I'd like to say that ADHD is not a special ability. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder and a disability. And to say that it's anything else is just irresponsible. It isn't just a learning disability, it's a scarlet letter. I mean, basically 85% of high-functioning autistics are unemployed, and 35% of autistic adults have had thoughts about unaliving themselves. I myself have been unemployed since March, and I have come close to ending my life, so close to ending my life that I actually have PTSD from those attempts. And I can't tell you all the ways that I've been blamed and gaslit for not being able to function in this society. Honestly, if I have one superpower from all this, it's my chronic unemployment and rejection and my mental health issues, because that's basically the only thing that I'm really substantially good at, considering all these diagnoses that I have. I put so much time and effort into getting good grades, only for none of that to matter because I'm disabled and society doesn't want to tolerate me, and I'm just not someone that can be worked with, honestly. Every environment that I go into, I end up being bullied and targeted. I end up getting rejected and ostracized. And autism as a superpower is like saying epilepsy and cerebral palsy are superpowers. I mean, they are disabilities. There are people with outlying abilities that have those disabilities, but the disability itself is not the causation of the outlying ability. No matter how hard I try or practice, I do it wrong, or I do it badly. So why would I try at all? Then I'm punished for not trying. I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And it's been this way since day one. Basically, if I win, I'm attacked for winning. If I fail, I'm attacked for losing. If I don't try at all, I'm attacked for not trying. I'm just at a point of learned helplessness where I just don't know what else to do. We are demonized by the church, and we are told that we carry evil spirits. Level 1 autistic people, aka low support needs or high functioning autistics, do not have the support to work in the neurotypical workplace. We're basically expected to adapt to an environment that's not conducive for our minds. And I've not been able to succeed at fitting into this neurotypical world ever. I've never been able to do it. It's very devastating to me. We don't live on the same timeline as neurotypicals. There's something called the 30% rule, which it says that autistic and ADHD people mature at 30% less the rate. Our like executive functions are 30% younger than our actual age. And I'm so hesitant to re-enter the workforce because I don't want to be humiliated and pathologized again. Politicians say that we destroy families and that we are discardable. The superpower trope makes it very difficult for those of us that don't have special abilities, to be accepted. Even though I see the social constructs, I can't adapt to them without a severe cost to myself. ADHD is a disabling, no amount of treatment has been able to make me functional in society. I've been told I lack emotion or empathy simply for not reacting to rage bait or refusing to meet the needs of people who wouldn't do the same for me. I have an impossible time self-regulating when I make a mistake. I've been shamed and condemned for being myself and doing those things wrong, to the point where I am only one straw away from breaking the camel's back. I'm extremely sensitive to rejection and extremely sensitive to criticism and failure, to the point where it's very difficult for me to learn things because I'm always in hypervigilance. Autistic burnout is not the same as regular burnout. My burnout almost ended my life, and if it wasn't for my family, I would be homeless or dead. Neurotypical social systems are inauthentic, so much so that I don't know how to interact with them because I can't be fake. I don't know how to act. I'm not like a professional actress. I don't know how to do this stuff. I have internalized self-loathing from my meltdowns, and I lack regulation. I don't know how to not hate myself. I've had a really hard time with low self-esteem, simply because I just don't fit in and I can't function in this world. And I really don't know what else I'm supposed to do. My brain has made my life insurmountably difficult. I am damaged from being marginalized, I'm damaged from being marginalized, for not being able to work, and called every name in the book. People with wheelchairs have ramps, blind people have braille, level 1 autistics are left out of the accommodation conversation because our disability is behavioral and interpersonal and seen as something that we can control. The way I have been ostracized and shit-talked has pretty much become an expectation. In my internal monologue, I have lived in social isolation since I started school, and I've never succeeded in finding my tribe. It doesn't make me desire friends any less, and it doesn't make it any less of a need to want to connect with people. I'm absolutely devastated by the way I've been treated. No one has ever been held accountable, and I have been left to shoulder the burden of the way that I have been ostracized and abused by society. My body became so inflamed from all of my unexpressed emotional pain that I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and yet it was still seen as my fault for being too sensitive. The symptoms of my disabilities were instead labeled as character flaws. The more I was told I was lazy or undisciplined by authority, the more I began to tell it to myself until it became a self-fulfilling prophecy and an identity. I never understood how to socialize with other girls my age, and boys didn't want me because I was a girl. And then you get to this weird point in puberty where it's like the boys start to notice you all of a sudden, and that's like the only thing you have to offer is your body. And it's very disorienting as a young woman. Not to mention that being kind of socially awkward and emotionally immature makes you a much easier target for assault and stuff like that. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I've avoided men is because I'm afraid of being a target. I've learned to hate myself so viciously by age 8 that I was taken out of class during free period to talk to a counselor, further isolating myself from my peers. Despite doing everything I could to focus, I had to try twice as hard to get half as much done, and my best efforts were criticized and ridiculed to the point where the incentive to put effort into anything simply wasn't there. Being told I'm not applying myself was so invalidating that I had a full system shutdown where I stopped eating, drinking, or getting out of bed to go to the bathroom to the point where I was hospitalized. That's called bed rotting. That's called major depression. That's called you can't take it anymore and you just kind of give up. I probably could have benefited from being signed up for martial arts. It would have offered me an outlet for my rage and taught me self-control through movement, but this was not a privilege or an option that was ever available to me. Conventional treatment stuffed me further into my head and into self-blame. I learned to disassociate from my body and spend most of the time maladaptive daydreaming as a way to cope with the social ridicule and isolation. I am forever a fish out of water, a species criticized for struggling in an ecosystem that I never belonged to in the first place, with no knowledge of where my actual homeland is. The fact that I wasn't diagnosed until adulthood doesn't mean I didn't struggle to the point of impairment. It means that my quality of life and suffering were not seen as priorities by my caretakers, and it still hurts to this day. Being lazy and being difficult were seen as parts of my personality. I was rejected by my own parents, and I was ostracized, and treatment was withheld from me due to fear of stigma and due to misinformation. This is kind of a form of medical neglect, in my opinion, to have a child that is so clearly learning disabled but not giving them accommodations. I never received accommodations one time throughout my childhood. I am blamed for my disability being disabling and called out like I haven't tried everything to fit in and to function. The gaslighting is absolutely insane. Without the support needs being met, I can't work. I can't move out from my parents' house. I am forever infantilized. I feel like I don't have a voice. Level 1 autism doesn't mean you're not struggling. It means you're being unfairly expected to perform because my struggles are perceived as within my control, thus making it seem like our support needs are invalid. I masked as hard as I could, but I still got bullied. They thought I was choosing to be weird. I knew I was being excluded and shit-talked. To this day, I am still alone. Even the way we grieve is different. The way we go through rejection is different. The way we experience joy is different, and all of our emotional expressions are pathologized. We are 25 times more likely to attempt unaliving ourselves and 7 times more likely to succeed. I still struggle with these thoughts every single day, periodically throughout the month, and most of the days I'm numb and empty. I have no idea who I am because being myself has always been something that should be punished. I've contemplated my existence because I am a burden and because not a single person in my life understands. And basically, I just wanted to conclude that this superpower trope is just kind of like, there are superhumans out there, I know that there are outliers out there, but this is not caused by their disability. It's just a combination of their disability plus another inherent ability. And I know that I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I just wanted to kind of update this as a shorter video. I'm just really upset because I really am lonely out here and I really have no one else to talk to, and it's very difficult for me to find my way in this world, as you guys already understand. And if you guys are new here, my name is Shelby. I exist and I make stuff. I just wanted to conclude that, you know, autism is not a superpower, it's a disability, and that anyone struggling with it is valid. I know that there are techniques and stuff that we have to do. We can't always make excuses. But anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.